Welcome everyone to the Respond Customer Service webinar series, which takes place the second Tuesday of the month. We're glad you've joined us today. Before I hand things off to Leah, we want to remind you about our EMS billing trainings. If you've never been to one, why don't you go to our website and check these out, or better yet, even call in and speak with Leah or Kathy, who are typically the trainers that do these, or your account managers. These are great two-day events that we have a couple locations and dates remaining in the 2017 calendar year, so take a look at those. But it's a great way to brush up on maybe modules you're not using to the full benefit of your service, or just things you don't even know about. So these are great trainings that we always hear really, really good reviews from our customers who go through them. So something to consider. All right, so before we get on to today's topic, we do encourage questions. You can submit those at any time throughout Leah's presentation. She'll get to your questions as soon as she's finished with her presentation, but that's one of the great things about these live webinars is you can ask questions that pertain to you and your service and get those answered on today's topic, which is, what is a guarantor and how do I add one? And so with that, I'm going to go ahead and switch things over to Leah. Good morning, Leah.
Good morning, Sherry. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, and thanks everyone that has joined us on this live webinar. These webinars are recorded, so you do have the option to review them at any time or suggest to your coworkers, hey, these are a good webinar for you to go check out. So this one's going to be short and sweet. Like Sherry said, today we're talking about guarantors and how to add them. So basically, in a nutshell, with the guarantor, information is associated of it can be multiple situations. The most typical or the most popular is a child under the age of 18 versus a parent. So the parent is the guarantor for that child, and maybe just the child was transported in the ambulance. And we do need to have both the child's information and the parent's information in the billing program, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to the data entry and pull up the patient. I'm purposely going to go ahead and pull up the child first on purpose so you can see that. So as you can see, we have a 2-year-old child in there. When we go to the CMS info, down here, there is the button of the closest relative or guardian, and that is where you go to connect that tie of the child, because child has its own account and then the parent has its own account, and this way you get to tie them together. So when you open that screen, it does ask you for the account number, and you'd go ahead and be able to search through the database there for the parent. So if the parent is not already entered into the system, you would need to enter the parent's information, including their insurance information, prior to be able to make that quote-unquote match of the guarantor. So I do have one set up already, so I'm going to key that in, and it does pull up the name. And then it does ask the relationship. So this is the relationship to the child. So as you can see, we do have a long list there. Some of them are state specific, other ones are not. So we're just going to pick the general as mother for this child. And we click OK. And then we also have an option for a legal representative. So for whatever circumstances, again, there could be multiple circumstances if somebody is a legal rep over somebody else, and that's done, through the court system and lawyers and all the proper documentation. Again, they have to be in the system already. If they're not, you need to go and create an account for that individual and enter all the information prior to making that tie of that legal representation. So I'm just going to bring this up again to show that we have made the choice with the account number and the individual's name, and the relationship is mother. So we're going to go ahead and save that. Oh, that's loud. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring up the mother. And this is the mother's account. So again, if I go to that CMS info information, there's the closest relative, but we don't need a guardian for the mom. We needed the guardian for the child that was 18 or younger. So if I direct your attention over to the Accounts tab here, so we have the guardian insured for, so that's the individual, that's the mom, and shows her insurance information. Legal rep, we didn't set her up for legal rep, but here we are as the guardian for, and it easily indicates the individual name, their account number, and their relationship. So Lisa is the mother to Tim as the toddler. Okay, so it's pretty easy to make sure and make that connection of the insured for, so that when you are processing the billing processes for the child, it's indicated that the mother is the guarantor for this child, so that the payer information is associated with that child. So one quick little recap here, pretty straightforward. Again, in the patient information under the child, have to have the parent's information or the guardian's information already in the system. Go to the closest relative and guardian and pick their account number and their relationship too, so that it's always associated appropriately with that parent. And again, once you have that associated and you go to the parent site or the guardian site, when you go into their accounts, if you click on the relationship guardian for, you can see that information where it's tied together. So nice, short, and simple webinar today of what is a guarantor or a guardian and how to connect those two together. Just checking to see, I don't see that there's any questions. If you do have any questions, by all means, feel free to give us a call in our support line of 1-800-987-0911, followed by option 5, then option 6, and we are always there to help you out. Thanks for joining us today, and hope you have a wonderful week.